Hi there, this is M4 T2 feedback for Jacqueline, Davy, and for Andrea. So Andrea, I have both ears open. I want to talk about this one because it's the abstract one. Definitely have a really great sense of war. I feel like some of the red should maybe be used as part of the battle in the foreground. Maybe thinking about pulling the red down into sort of this area so that it can sort of excuse me, symbolically represent blood, or the sort of, torment of war. Rather, this can be sort of read as fire, which is fine, but it also starts to read kind of like a sunset, which is a little antithetical to the imagery. So just play around with that before submitting your final. Davey, let's take a look. Romance. We want the pinks to be the dominant colors. They're definitely used in the focal point, but I feel like they could be more dominant. So I'm going to draw on your composition here. Right now, because there's so much background, I think that we can afford to really scale up the flowers. So think about the flowers really kind of taking up that amount of space and allowing the stems. There can be many flowers. It doesn't have to be two. Maybe it's a field of flowers. So that you have lots and lots of flowers that are taking up this foreground area, the stems extending all the way past the edge of the composition, so it's cropped off, making the moon very small. Right now the moon is really large in the composition. Making it small will help to create more of a visual hierarchy within the flowers, making them the most dominant. So really thinking about allowing the warmest colors, these here, to be the most dominant and take up the most amount of your composition. I can imagine it sort of taking up all of that area, if you will. And let's see, Jacqueline. So happiness, I think that definitely a sunset or a sunrise works with happiness, but what we're seeing here in this composition is not utilizing the techniques that are shown in the video tutorials. So I want you to use some of the additional tools that are shown in the tutorials to create a tidier composition. Right now it's feeling kind of like paint by number, and I'd rather see you create these shapes, like the shapes of the waves, using a circle shape for the sun, so that it becomes a tidier design, utilizing the tools in the software to their fullest advantage. You also want to make sure that you are including a background rectangle so that the entire composition is filled with a color from your palette, utilizing all of the colors from the palette. So your design should use all 16 colors within the shapes in the composition.